What's up everybody, welcome back to another vlog. So yesterday and the day before, I still haven't gotten a deal. My text messaging campaign is going to go out in about the next 30 minutes, about 8:36 in the morning. As I'm waiting for that to go out, what I'm doing is I'm actually preparing my next list. What I did was, I told you before, I'm blanking an entire area and I'm going to basically hit all the houses that I haven't hit while driving for dollars. So I picked a specific criteria, which is anybody that's owned a house over 20 years. I think it's 20 or 30 years, I don't remember off the top of my head. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually have my cold caller call him first before I send them text or ringless voicemail. Now I did want to show you guys how to actually structure your marketing, how kind of like how I've done it, but at the same time what I'm gonna show you is not gonna work for every market, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it and see if it works, because you might see that part of it works and what you'll do is just restructure the whole marketing campaign so that way it'll work in your market. That's basically how I've built my whole marketing, just listening to other people's marketing and seeing how it goes, taking little bits and pieces from several different people's marketing. So I've taken pieces of marketing from Nasser, aka the real estate guru, Brian Arigbu, Rafael Vargas, Sean Terry, even Tom Kroll. Every single little gem that they have, I've taken it and implemented it in my marketing strategy little by little. So it's not like I had like a humongous epiphany one day and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it like this. No, it's a lot of trial, a lot of error that has been able to get me to the point where I'm consistently closing deals, but at the same time the marketing still shifts little by little when I notice something's not working. The problem is that, like, you as a new wholesaler, when you're calling your first 500 people, you have no idea if any of those people are not interested. But the more people you start calling over a period of time, you'll be able to weed out those not interesteds real quick. So like, let's say I pull a list of 10,000 in my area, I already have a list of 7,000 people that are not interested. You see how that kind of like cleans up my list? So like the first couple of times that you're gonna market, you'll probably spend more money than what you usually would, and as time goes on, your marketing will get cheaper and more expensive at the same time because you're gonna scale up. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I mean by that by switching over to the whiteboard. Basically what I mean by, as like when you first start marketing, it's gonna cost you more money, is that when you're targeting a select area, let's say you know, 1 square mile. I know my drawing is kind of ugly. We're gonna fill this in. This is all the people that you're gonna be targeting, right? I'm gonna go sideways, kind of fill in this box a little bit. So as time goes on, you're obviously gonna call these people, and bits and parts of this square is gonna erase. You know, I'm gonna erase it with my finger because I don't know where my eraser is. You see how parts of it erase? Those are your people that are not interested. As time goes on, when you come back to retarget the same area again, those people that are not interested, you already know they're not interested. I've looked at, you know, some of my not interested and scrubbed it against all the current sales in the past 12 months. I've only found 2 out of 6,000 people out of my not interested list that ended up selling, and they were either retail or it sold, I don't know, like a few days after I talked to them, just because they were probably under contract with somebody else. So coming back to retarget these people who are not interested is a waste of money, because now you're basically saving the money that you already targeted these people that they're not interested. Now you're gonna come back and you're gonna keep spending more money on these people in between. I know that this might not be the best illustration or the best way to explain it. It's kind of just the best way that I know how to explain it. So you see how your lines get darker because you're hitting more people around these people who are already not interested. Obviously, these people might become interested in some point in time, but I think it's gonna take a while before you get anybody that's actually interested in the not interested. Maybe, you know, a couple years down the line. As I darken this, is basically just representing spending more money. You can see that there's spaces in between because those are people that you're missing, you know, one way or another. But you're going around the people that are not interested. What I basically do is I export all my leads from Mojo Dialer, or you know, whatever CRM system that you're using. Export all you're not interested, export everything that you have, and compare it to the new leads that you're going to put into your system. See if there's any repeats, see if there's any people that you've already tried contacted them, or maybe they're your current follow-ups. You definitely don't want to reach out for another property and then they're going to be like, hey, well, aren't we under contract for this property? Why are you calling me again? It's all just a big cycle. From there, you know, knowing who you've targeted and who you haven't, then starts to scale up. So instead of sending 100 text messages a week, you might start to send 200. Oh, I put 2,000, look at that. And then grow from there, 300 a week, until like you're at a goal where you feel like, hey, you know, I'm making progress. 2, 3, 4,000 a week, maybe 10,000 a week, I don't know. You know, the sky's the limit on whatever you want to send. Same thing goes with phone calling. You don't have to start out making 1,000 phone calls a day. You can start out with, hey, you know what? I don't have an auto dialer, so I'm going to start with 10 phone calls. 10 phone calls a day and scale up 2 more phone calls every day. And by the time you know, you're making like 20 phone calls a day, and you grabbed a deal after maybe 4 weeks of calling consistently every single day. One of the books that helped me out with understanding what I was doing wrong and why I wasn't succeeding in wholesaling, I'm gonna go get it real quick. This book right here, The One Thing. I know I'm kind of cheesy when it comes to presenting anything. Yeah, look, The One. So The One Thing by Gary Keller. This thing was awesome because I was focusing on doing too much at a time. So like I was trying to text, mail, cold call, drive for dollars, skip lists. I was doing way too much. And then I realized, you know, I gotta go back to the basics. I gotta go back to where my origins were. So what I did was, when I say I go back to the basics, I started looking at cost. What is it gonna cost me to do what I wanna do? And what is it gonna cost me to test out my marketing strategy? So I started out with something simple, 300 people. I pulled a list of about 1,500, I think, absentee owners, or just a whole block. I didn't even get a specific list. I skip traced a whole block of anybody that's owned the home for over 20 years. Because somebody that is, you know, gonna sell, they're more than likely gonna own it for 10 years or more, and are gonna be over the age of 40. So I started out with a list of 1,500, but out of those 1,500, I took only 300 out. So 300 times, let's say you're using an expensive skip tracer at 35 cents per skip trace. So for you to skip trace this whole 300, it's gonna be $105. 105 bucks. Now tell me, what have you spent over $100 on that didn't bring you any type of value? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Have you bought a pair of shoes? You bought a cell phone for 100 bucks? I'm pretty sure all of us have spent $100 on something that's not really worth anything other than, oh, it looks nice, it's cool, and you can play with it. But other than bringing us real money, nothing. Out of those 300 people, I was able to pull out 2 deals. 2. One was for $15,000. The second one was for $5,000. Was the $105 worth it? Absolutely. I hand dialed these 300 people, me and my partner. So it wasn't like we had all the bells and whistles and all the beautiful stuff that we have now. But out of those 300, we pulled 2 deals out and made 105 bucks within 2 months. Then the third deal came. Okay, out of the same list of 300, the third deal came, $34,000. That's what we made. So of course, I had already been in the game for about a year, but I had maybe a handful of deals that I did. Nothing was ever consistent. And it was because I was so erratic in my marketing. What did we make here? What was the total? 34 plus 15 plus 5. We made $54,000 off of the same $105 that we skip traced. Now, in this time frame, we did start implementing Mojo Dialer, and we were obviously able to afford more money because we had money to spend on marketing now. Did we go and blow all this money and go do stupid stuff? No, we took money out of here and went back and dumped it all back into marketing. What did that marketing produce? So then, what we ended up doing was, we took the money that we had. Obviously, we didn't spend it all on marketing. We gotta live. I was able to quit my job finally. And what we did was, we set a goal for ourselves. How many phone calls did we want to do a month? So after 1 month of having Mojo Dialer, we were calling 1,500 numbers a month. 1,500 consistently every single month. I would get on the phone for a couple hours a day. My partner would get on the phone for a couple hours a day, and we would flip-flop back and forth, back and forth. I would get on for an hour or two. He would get on for an hour or two. You know, one day I got on for 3 hours, but we always tried to stay consistent on the 1,500, because some days we could do more, some days we could only do less. Then we were able to implement some text messaging. We started off with just something simple, 25 texts per day, and we scaled from there, 25, 25, 25, and we wanted to see what the results were. You start small, you don't have to start big. Next thing you know, we're 4 months in and we have 4,000 leads. And out of these 4,000 leads, we kept consistently pulling out 1 deal a month, 1 deal a month, 1 deal a month, follow-ups. It was all a really big cycle, and we were continuing to, you know, get the closings going. But it all started with small amounts of marketing. It didn't take large amounts, but you have to do more than just 20 or 30. You know, you got to do at least 100, 200 for you to really be successful. We were in February already. We had about, actually, I think between December and January, we had about 4,000 leads. In this current moment in time, the amount of people we have in the system, and these are including, of course, our not interested, current follow-ups, everything. We have 9,000 leads. Either they're not interested leads, they're interested, driving for dollars, vacant houses, everything. 9,000. So these 9,000, now we're pulling in way more than 1 or 2 deals a month. We're almost at like 10 deals every single month. You know, we just continue to target. This is gonna grow. I want this number to be 20,000 by June. I want to continue to target people. We're gonna scale up even harder and go as hard as we can. So obviously we don't send 25 text messages per day. I showed you the other day I sent 300. I'm gonna show you today I'm gonna send 300, which I think it's almost about time. Yeah, 5 minutes from now I'll send out 1,300 text messages. Hopefully it sends to at least over 500, and we're gonna continue to grow. We're gonna continue to scale, spend more money, spend more money, spend more money. My goal every single month, I want to spend $10,000 in marketing. That's where I want to be at. I want to be at 10 G's a month. The reason I say that is because $10,000 in marketing will bring me at least a minimum of $100,000 a month, which is good. That's where I want to be. I want to be making $1.2, $1.3 million a year. It's going to be irrelevant to spend the 10 grand. Now, would I recommend you jumping in and spending 10 grand automatically? No, absolutely not. Don't do that. Come in, start off with $100. Next month, double it to 200. The next month, add another $100. The next month, add another $100. The next month, add another $100. Scale up little by little so you can see what's working, what's not. And if it's working, spend more money on what is working. Don't spend any money where it's not working. If you're sending out 5,000 text messages a month and you're not getting any type of responses, you're not getting any type of deals out of it, don't spend any money on it. Just stop spending money on it. If you're sending mail is a different beast. You can't send out 1 or 2 mailers and be like, hey, where's my deals? You gotta send out at least 8 mailers. And if you're sending out 8 mailers to, I'm gonna say 100 people, that means you need to spend about $800 in marketing. If each mailer costs you $1 a piece. So you need to spend $800 in mail before you can say it's working or not. But even at 100 people that you're mailing, you're only expected to get maybe 2%. So maybe 2 people out of those 8 times, that's not worth it when you're first starting out. Now, if you're gonna send a mail campaign that's about 1,000 to 2,000 people, you got the money, and you can do it for 3 months, 4 months consistently, definitely you'll pull a deal out. I guarantee that. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. So let's get away from this. Let's jump into the text messaging. I'm gonna come back in a couple of hours just to show you how it's gone so far and how many people I've been able to hit. Also, how many people have responded back, what the response rate is, and see if we get a deal. I'm hoping that doubling up my marketing today, I'll either get a deal or weed out all the people who are not interested. All right, so far we've sent out 589 text messages, received 134 text messages, and we have a response rate of around 22%. Just so that you guys can have it for your records, I'm gonna show you real quick. You can see right there for yourself, 589 text messages, 134 received. And that does include my responses, sending out responses, but I've been rate limited. So all my phone numbers have successfully maxed out their sending capabilities. Now, I'll still probably receive text messages throughout the day of people texting me back, and I can still respond to them. I just won't be able to send out another campaign unless I buy some more phone numbers. And the phone numbers are not expensive, they're like $1 a piece, and I have 5. I've bought up to 15 phone numbers for 1 month, but I realized that sending large blasts all in one day doesn't really work out that well. It's really hard to keep track of, really hard to, I guess, continue to respond to them, especially when, you know, they're coming in so quickly. But other than that, I mean, so far I've only gotten 1 follow-up. I've gotten a couple crazy people telling me to go do something to myself. But, you know, the responses are normal. These are absolute normal responses. And I'll tell you some of these responses. The only reason why I won't show you is because their phone numbers will pop up if I show you, and I don't want that happening at all. So here goes, look. I am not effing Kathy. Thanks, Kathy, or thanks, person. I know now that you're not Kathy. I'm a relative. Good morning. Why do you ask that question? It's not gonna be for sale. No. Think you got the wrong number. Wrong number. We have a couple that's interested in it. We're talking to the attorney right now. I responded to them. See if they'll consider an offer on it if that other offer doesn't go through. Sorry, I don't. I'm not Lorraine. I don't even know where Norwood Drive is. Thanks. I got some people. Oh, here goes another one. No, remove me from your list. I have notified 8 people that this is not Harry. I am reporting this number. I'm on the do not call list. So what do you do in that situation? Don't call them. So even though some of these people are gonna be irate, they're gonna be screaming, yelling, cursing, whatever it may be, don't let it hinder you. I mean, you're not gonna come across the first 5 people that you text and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I am interested in selling. They're probably gonna tell you to go F yourself. Go crawl back into the hole that you came from. You're a bottom feeder, piece of crap. You're nothing but a scam artist, scammer, you name it, they've called me it. But you can't get upset. Just be like, all right, have a nice day. Move on to the next house. And that's the way you keep closing deals. And like I said, Charlotte is extremely competitive. So I'm pretty sure there's like 50 other dudes or 100 other dudes that are texting the same people that I'm texting. But I'm just going to keep going, keep texting, keep messaging, and keep following up with these people because this is where the money is going to be. Like, I might not have gotten the responses that I wanted right now, but I'm gonna come back with another campaign, come back with another campaign, come back with another campaign. I might actually even text this again for a second time next week to see if anybody responds, because sometimes you gotta be that aggressive. You gotta text them again until they respond, because then they know, hey, you know what, this guy's not a robot or this is not an automated system. Let's see what this guy wants. So I might actually set this up as a campaign for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll probably text them all not in one day, but I'll text the majority of them over the 3-day period, because I think that I can text this, you know, within, let me think, if I can send 1,500 text messages a day, I think I've sent out maybe a total of almost 1,000 for the week. So maybe in 2-3 days I can actually text everybody again. Not including all the people I already weeded out, so it's going to be a smaller campaign. So let's progress throughout the day and see what else pops up, and I'm going to respond to the rest of these text messages. I got like 3 more that came in. Alright, so it's actually the end of the day. It's actually right now, it's 9:01 p.m. at night. Most of the day I just kept back and forth with the whole text messaging. Total send was 620 text messages, and the total reply was 191. I'll give you guys a total on what the cost was. So the total cost of today's campaign was $22.70, and the response rate was 30%. So not too bad. I mean, was it a perfect day? No. I did post a little bit on my Instagram of some of the responses I got, so definitely check me out at Dan.Buys.Houses on Instagram. Had some really good responses. I haven't had some good ones like that in a while, where people told me to, you know, basically go jump off a cliff, or told me to stop calling them, stop texting them, you know, low ball offers. People get upset, but you know, that's part of the whole game. We're not trying to purposely upset people, but the majority of the time you will get a lot of upset people that will contact you back. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of the game. But other than that, I mean, we did get some people that were interested. Their price wasn't what we could offer them at the moment, but they would make a great follow-up for the next 6 months or more. And picked up 2 follow-ups total. No real deals in sight. I did go ahead and put my caller on a new list that I just skip traced today. It was about 265 leads total. I don't remember what the total is, but I'm gonna check it. And then I'm working on another list right now to get ready to skip trace, that it's about 1,000 leads in an area that I consistently wholesale in. So other than that, I mean, nothing really good in this moment in time. I mean, this is normal. Sometimes you have, you know, weeks where you're just pulling deals out like crazy, and sometimes you're at a standstill where there's nothing that's really coming out, or maybe the people that you're targeting aren't ready yet. So I'm hoping with these 2 weeks that I'm putting together all these lists that I'm gonna pull something out. So right now, I'll give you a total of how many leads that we're gonna try to target just in these next 2 weeks, which so far we have already targeted 450 people, which 430 have phone numbers for. So that one's 430, got the other one for like I think like 280 something, and then the new list that's probably gonna go out, I think it's like 1100 phone numbers. Brings us to a grand total of 1,830 people that we're targeting. Now, if we're going off the numbers from the 430 list, I think I had like 2,600 phone numbers. So we're expecting about 10,400 phone numbers. That is a lot of phone numbers. So I mean, if every contact was an actual cell phone number, the total cost of that for text messaging would be $260 to hit them all one time. Which, I mean, if you're looking at it from, you know, like a mail standpoint, if you were to mail that many people, or, I mean, you wouldn't be mailing that many people because you're not going to be mailing that many phone numbers, but let's say they were people. If all those people were an actual lead, 10,000 people, that means you can hit 10,000 people with $260 one time. You can repeat that campaign at least every single month for the next 6 months, and I promise you, I think you'd pull out a deal, because 10,000 people with a, you know, like a mail campaign, that's like 10 grand, like literally $10,000 in mail compared to $260 in, you know, text messaging. That's pretty cool. I actually didn't think about it like that. $260 to hit 10,000 people. Well, I send about well, this month I think I'll probably send about 10,000 text messages at this rate, because if I've sent, actually no, I think I'm way below that, because even if I sent 500 text messages per day, I only send text messages from Monday to Friday, it would be a total of actually 10,000 text messages. So I'm expecting my text messaging cost this month to be around $260, which is what you want to expect. You always want to estimate high and come in low, versus estimate low and you come in way over your budget. Set aside a small budget for yourself. I can afford to send $260 worth of text messages. It doesn't hurt me that bad, but when you're on a restricted budget like I was when I first started, $260 is a lot of money. So start out small, go with $50, upgrade to 100. If you have a friend or a partner or somebody that wants to chip in too, just, you know, go half and half. That's how me and my partner first started. We split a list. We thought spending $70 on skip tracing was expensive. Now we spend hundreds of dollars on skip tracing and it's nothing, because we know what the efforts are gonna bring. So I appreciate all you guys watching. I know this was another very long vlog, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it greatly. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Maybe we'll get another deal. Who knows?